What's up, awesome people? My name is Mitchell R. Tucker. Today's guest may look familiar to you. He's responsible for a ton of viral content. Many of you may have seen him before. He's an artist, a TEDx speaker, and a content creator, Mr. Brian Breach. Thank you so much for being with us, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. I truly appreciate it.
This is Mitchell R. Tucker, and you're tuned in with
Brian Breach. Brian Breach.
So I discovered you from Brad Lee's podcast, Dropping Bombs. And
Right.
It's funny, I saw you on there, and that's when I put two and two together. I'm like, so that's the guy I saw in those viral videos.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I had so much fun in Vegas. Like, I was asked to be on the podcast. I literally flew out there just to be on that podcast. And Brad Lee is he's hilarious, man. He's crazy, but he's hilarious.
He's awesome. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
So what really made me contact you, invite you on, is after hearing your journey into entrepreneurship and everything you went through. We all know that journey can be pretty tough. And a topic I enjoy talking about is mental resilience, what it takes to get through things and keep pushing. And after I heard your story, I thought to myself, this guy's got some mental resilience. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you could just quickly share, because there's probably some people who haven't heard your story, if you could just give the long story short of Brian Breach and your journey into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like to tell the story is, coming from when I was younger, because all that stuff kind of led me into being an independent guy. When I was younger, I lived in New York. My mom was super abusive at the time, and my dad was working a lot. Like I said this in my TED talk as well, but it literally got so bad that my dad was like playing in audio cassette tapes around the house. I actually ended up hearing those tapes when I was like, my dad gave them to me when I was like 22 or 23. So it was actually kind of weird listening to that stuff back. So
yeah.
She cheated on my dad, contracted HIV. I don't know how, but she had really good lawyers. She got custody and took us down to Florida. And when we came down to Florida, my dad was stuck in New York. He lost everything and ended up he went from a nice house that we were living in to a one-bedroom apartment in Freeport, New York. My mom literally took everything. Even after she passed away, a lien popped up on his apartment because of her. It was crazy. So we moved down to Florida. She met a guy named Jordan. He lived with us for 5 years. I actually really liked the guy. He was like a stepdad. My mom got really sick, went to the hospital, and I found out that he had been murdered in some kind of deal gone wrong while she was in the hospital. The day of my bar mitzvah, I'm a Jewish kid, although I have my own beliefs. Day of my bar mitzvah was one of the last times I saw her again. Then my dad got custody. He ended up marrying a woman named Cynthia. We moved into her house. That first month, she had a grand mal seizure, had a brain tumor behind her eye. And then my dad was out of work for 9 months because the hospital gave him a staph infection. So, I don't want it to sound like everything was horrible. These are just like the bad parts of growing up. But what it led me to was this very hungry mindset. I remember being a kid. I swear to you, ever since the day that I came out the womb, I was geared towards making money. I remember sitting in second grade, third grade, making paper airplanes to sell them. You remember the games that you would, open up and
my 12-year-old makes them all the time now.
Yeah. I used to sell those, and then I remember, I know you're a cop and all, but I used to steal candy and sell it. And then I did it the right way, the legal way, and I would buy the candy and sell it. I used to go to this store right across the street of my middle school in 8th grade. And then we did, and then I used to play flips. There was a game where you would flip coins against the wall. Whoever got the closest would get the money. So every day I was just so focused on making money. When I was 11, that was my first job. I worked at that guy Jordan's pizza place. I cleaned the tables. I was a cashier, and I cleaned the fridge. 12 years old, I couldn't work. When I was 13, I started working as a dishwasher, then restaurant all through high school, 2 restaurants, and it kept going and going and going. So long story short, my last 9 to 5 was 2004 to 2008. And during that time, I was making a lot of music. So I was always in the, entrepreneurial mind space. But I got into some legal issues in 2006, and that prevented me from getting a job during that time. Police actually falsified evidence in my case. It was ridiculous. And I remember trying to get a job at the same campus that I worked at. I was working at Kaiser University, and they wouldn't even hire me in a different department because somehow they ran my background check after already working at Kaiser for 2 years after what had happened. So that forced me to go on my own. I didn't have a choice. I probably couldn't get a job at McDonald's because of some ridiculousness. So long story short, we were doing music a lot. And that was very, that was surrounded by the entrepreneur spirit. We started an independent label, started a hip hop blog, started a clothing line, started a printing business, opened up a studio, and it was one failure after another. When I say failure, I mean, we did well for a while, but I made a lot of mistakes, and it didn't persist. The label didn't move on. The printing business was closed after 9 months. But within every failure, you have some kind of win, some kind of success, and you learn. You have to fail.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, I failed," you know what? When someone says they failed, I praise them for failing. You want to fail. That's how you learn. So
absolutely, yeah.
Finally,
I can relate.
Yeah, exactly. So once I hit the end of music, and I hate saying that I gave up on music, but sometimes when you don't feel like you're progressing, it's not a failure to pivot. So I remember pivoting and thinking to myself, I was like, shit, I don't want to. I feel bad quitting music as my whole life put into it, but I just knew when I was defeated. I knew I wasn't moving as far as I wanted to go. So I already had a fan base. I was already verified on Instagram. I didn't want to lose them. So I took that and I started making viral videos and comedy because it was always in me. I always had that funny bone. And right towards the end of the year where I wrote on a whiteboard saying, I'm going to go viral in a year. If you don't go viral in a year, you're done. I was given the opportunity to do a TEDx, and then 4 or 5 months later, what I shot went viral. And it was the combination of these two things. It was like the perfect storm, like the movie with George Clooney. And it just led me to all these awesome opportunities, speaking around the country, doing all these amazing things. So the entrepreneurial spirit has always been in me from day one. And you need to have it in you to move forward. You have to have it. Even the people that are working 9 to 5s, I recommend, yes, work 9 to 5s, but look what happened with this pandemic.
Yeah,
so many people, these essential workers, or non-essential workers were out of work that had these 9 to 5s, and you got to start pivoting. You got to start moving in a direction where you can have multiple sources of income outside of that. So if a pandemic hits or the building blows up, whatever happens, you can survive, and you got to have that entrepreneur spirit to do that. So that is the very, very, very yeah.
That's good. So, in hindsight, looking back, that legal issue you had may have been one of the biggest blessings you've ever had.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I think about that a lot. At the time that it happened, it didn't feel like quite a blessing.
Right?
Yeah,
not at all.
And even years after that, I was like, damn, it wasn't, I tried to get some jobs. I couldn't get it. But then I started thinking like, you know what? I don't even want to go get a job because it's just like a blemish, almost like I have to go in there and I have to explain to every single person why it doesn't look as bad as it was. I have to explain to it was almost like it almost felt like embarrassing to me. Like I didn't want to have to do that. So I'm like, what? Just like everything in my life, when I wasn't getting booked on hip hop shows, we threw our own shows. We became the promoter. We took money from the door. We charged people and made the tickets. Just like everything I've done, TV show. I'm working on the show America's Gone Viral when everything gets back to normal. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait for someone to put me on a show. I'm gonna make my own. I do not care. Like I don't need anybody to give me an opportunity. I will make an opportunity for myself. I will create one. So I've always had that mindset,
So that's a great mindset to have. And we're going to talk about the show here in just a few. What do you believe is what's some of the best advice you can give to an upcoming entrepreneur? I know, I quit my job December 20th, 2017. It's funny you can remember that date, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I love hearing that. Congrats, bro.
Yeah, and it's like it's the most freeing feeling in the world, when you can just step away and be like, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do my own thing. What is your biggest advice for someone who wants to quit their 9 to 5 and do their own thing and make their own money?
Right. Well, my advice really is to number one, get inside the independent mindset very quickly, because I know a lot of people that can't micromanage themselves, and it's a scary thing. You have to learn. You have to adjust. If you come from a 9 to 5 world, you have to immediately adjust and get out of that mindset. You're going to have to take on huge responsibilities. You're going to have to micromanage yourself. What I tell people coming up is that a lot of young people is that stay focused. Stop worrying about, especially young kids coming out of high school, their mindset a lot is girls and partying, this and that. Bro, that stuff will always be there. I thought when I was 18 years old, I thought 30 was old. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't until I hit 33 that I'm like, what? My life is literally just starting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm over my mid-30s and my life just started. So forget all that stuff. So get your life in order first. Worry about the relationships and the nonsense. Worry about the partying later. You don't have to worry about that stuff. So for young up and coming entrepreneurs, I would mainly tell them, and this is my favorite slogan of all time, is the Nike slogan, just do it. A lot of entrepreneurs, they'll start out and they'll get nervous and they'll get confused. What am I supposed to do first? I was asked a question somewhere. Someone was like, I want to create my own website. I want to blow it up. What do I start with? And I literally told them, wherever. It doesn't matter where you start with. There may be a specific order to build a website, but do not worry about where you start. Just start, because once you get your foot in, you're going to start. I can't explain. It's like the Matrix. You get in it, and when you're in it, you start seeing it. Once you get your foot in one area of what you're trying to do in the entrepreneur world, if you're starting a business, you're going to go on Sunbiz and you're going to register your business. And then you're going to be like, oh, shit, I got to do this now. Oh, I got to pay this fee. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. I got an email about the annual report. Oh, now I got to do the annual report. I got to make a spreadsheet. You're going to notice when you're in it what's going to be needed to be done. So stop worrying about every order that you need to do it. Stop overthinking things and literally just do it. That was my biggest issue, and it still sometimes is. I overthink everything. And instead of just sitting down and starting, I could have had 8 hours of work done when I'm still thinking about where to start. No, just do it.
I think a lot of people do that. I know I catch myself doing the same thing.
Yep, me too.
So you mentioned America's Gone Viral.
Right.
I saw that you were going to be the host of that. Can you share some information on that? I wasn't able to find a whole lot of information on what exactly that's going to be about. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, it's funny. Thank you. It's funny. I've been talking about it so much and all the stuff that I've been doing, and I've kept it very light so nobody steals the idea, although I already copyrighted it, so I'm not really worried about it. But we thought it was going to be in production by now. So what it is when I went viral. So
you've heard it first here on Mitchell podcast. All right.
When I went viral, I thought to myself, how do I keep running with this? How do I keep moving forward? I want to create a TV show about going viral, but what it's going to be is this. And this is what I'm really excited about, because everybody thinks, or most people think, that going viral is just an accident. And even I've even talked to like big content creators. They're like, oh, going viral is just an accident. I'm like, an accident. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, going viral is very strategic. There's a marketing plan behind a lot of videos that go viral. There's strategic things that they put inside a video. So the point of America's Gone Viral is this. What we're going to do is we're going to have 3 influencer judges. So Supreme Patty's on board. Francetti, Antonio Skitz was the 3rd one, but we didn't have a date ready, so he didn't want to officially give his thing. But we're waiting on that. So, and then Corona hit. So what it is we want to deal with, and we want to get contestants on the show that are up and coming young content creators that do not have a lot of followers, people that love making content. Like a lot of people on TikTok right now are making content. There are 80-year-old grandmothers blowing up on TikTok, making careers out of this now, because people love to be creative. The entire world, especially from the pandemic. So I want to get like you guys, a brother team. I want to get cousin team. I want to get a boyfriend girlfriend team. It's going to be teams of content creators, 3. So 1 brother and sister, 1 boyfriend and girlfriend, 1 family content creating team. And what we're going to do is we're going to issue them viral challenges each week. So 1 week, you guys are going to shoot a skit about cheating on your spouse. Next week, we're gonna issue you a prank that you're gonna have to do in public. The next week, you're gonna have to do a social experiment. They're gonna shoot their own footage, but we're gonna send out cameras behind the scene to show the detail and what it really takes to make content. All the tricks of the trade, all the camera tricks, all the stuff that they do, all the creativity. We're also gonna allow them to have extras. So if they need extras for the scene, we're gonna provide extras on set. So they're gonna go out, do their thing, shoot the content. They're going to edit it, do everything. They're going to come back in front of the judges, and they're going to present their work. All right, here's our work. This is what we did. So just like rapping, like if I tell you write a song about content creators, everybody's going to have their own take on it. So it's going to be really cool to see how this person does a skit about cheating. This person does a skit about cheating or whatever. They're going to present it to the judges, and then we're going to put it on a centralized YouTube channel. And whoever gets the most likes, views, and comments that week on their particular viral video is going to move on to the next round. So if this guy gets 120,000, this content creator team gets 120,000 views, they get 60,000, they get 30,000. The one with 120,000 one, move on to the next round. And we're going to keep doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it's going to be this big competition show of viral competitors competing. And, you know, at the end, they'll get like 50 grand prize money, or they'll get to work with one of the bigger content creators, and so on and so forth. So in essence, it's a viral competition show for up and coming content creators.
That's great. Yeah. Count us in. Me and Kindle Talks.
What's that?
I said, count us in. Me and Kindle Talks TV.
Oh, true. Yeah. I'll keep you guys in mind for sure.
All right. That's great. So you kind of mentioned it, but nowadays everybody wants to go viral. That's no secret. And like you said, a lot of people feel that it's coincidence or whatever. You seem to crack that code. What are some of the key factors and elements to going viral in your opinion?
Right. So, okay. So there's a couple of things, and you know, it's not just about going viral. It's about increasing your video views, you know? So I'll give you a real simple example just to start out with. So the simple example would be this, you know, you have, let's just take a girl that all she does is post selfies and pictures of her on the beach, right? After the 50th selfie on your Instagram page, you're going to notice your engagement going down. You're going to notice, all right, we've seen this before. And her caption may be, at the beach. Next caption, love the sun today. Next caption, putting on my suntan lotion. Those are captions, number one, that aren't going to get your audience to engage with you. So what I always recommend, this is the number one, or not number one thing, but this is the start. You want to make your captions in a way where it's going to make people want to engage with you by adding different elements to it. Number one, I would recommend on a lot of times to put a question mark. So if a girl just writes, chilling here at the beach in the sun, there's nothing to engage there. It's just going to be a bunch of guys saying, oh, you're hot, you're hot, you're hot. But if you write, I'm chilling here at the beach in the sun, what are you guys doing today? That simple question mark is going to get another 50 people to write, I'm over here in Panama. I'm in Cocoa Beach, Florida. I'm at Boomers today. I'm eating lunch. It's going to get more people to comment. So just the changing in the wording of the caption, or instead of just writing something simple like, I'm at the beach today, right? I'm at the beach today. I had this for lunch. I had this. So now you're going to spark somebody to talk about the tuna sandwich you just had. Now you're going to spark conversation. And you name the specific brand of the suntan lotion. So now somebody's going to be like, oh shit, I use that suntan lotion. So you have to put like different points in your captions so people can, you know, possibly comment on those things. So that's number one. That's the easiest one. Change your captions to make sure people engage. Number two. This is my favorite one, and this is the number one key in my opinion. Let me see how I'm going to explain this. Okay, so I call them Easter eggs, and a lot of people fail to put Easter eggs in your videos. I'll give you an example that I've used time and time again. If I'm a real estate agent, because forget content creators for a minute, everybody wants to go viral. If I'm a real estate agent and I'm trying to show a mansion and I'm filming it and I'm putting it online, I want everybody to see this so I can sell this house. So everybody is shooting content, real estate agents, Forex people, podcast people, everybody. So let's say I'm a real estate agent, right? I'm shooting this video and I'm like, hello, everybody. I'm in front of this beautiful mansion at blah, 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 blah. And I got a stain on my shirt, right? And I go back into editing and I'm like, oh shit, I messed up. I have a stain on my shirt. What am I going to do? We got to reshoot it. I would tell that real estate agent, don't reshoot it. Leave the stain on your shirt, because what's going to happen is this. You're going to get an additional 30 to 40 people, because this is how the internet is. They're very negative. People love to point out flaws. They're going to come to that dude's video, not to talk about the mansion, but they're going to come to that dude's video to specifically talk about the stain on the shirt. Now, if you get 40 comments about the stain on your shirt, all that's going to do is boost you up in the algorithms to hopefully get you on the Explore page on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever. That's what it's going to do. So let it happen. Now, let's take it a step further. Let's say you got the stain on your shirt and you're chilling, you're talking about the mansion, and then a neighbor walks behind you by accident. He's holding his dog and the dog shits in the background, just right on the grass, right? So then you got the stain on your shirt, then you got the dog shitting. So now you have 50 comments of people talking about the stain. Then you got another 80 people that are like, oh shit, did you guys see the dog shitting in the background? So would I edit that out? No, I would leave the dog shitting, because then you got 80 people talking about the shit. You got 50 talking about the stain. And then the people that didn't see the dog shit will bring up the stain. And then the people that didn't see the stain will bring up the dog shit. And it's like this thing, and they start arguing in the comments. That boosts you up in the algorithms. Now, so you leave all those Easter eggs in. Now, forget about accidental Easter eggs. Let's talk about purposeful Easter eggs. What if every video you shot, You purposely put a dog shitting. You purposely put a different color tie. You purposely put a hat that people never saw before. You purposely put a stain on your shirt. And you have all these little things going on in the videos. All that's going to do is spark comments every time, over and over and over. So you want to have little things in your videos that are going to make people want to comment. Even something as simple as this podcast. I'll give you an example. I don't have it here now. I moved it because I had a different podcast. But right to the right of me, I have a female mannequin with no hair on, with a shirt on, and she looks creepy as shit. And I would always keep her right in the back during podcasts. And I was on this one podcast recently, and I'd say 40% of the people commenting on the podcast, because it was a live Zoom on Facebook, was about that stupid doll. Now, do I give a shit? No, because all they're doing is boosting up the guy's post. Every time someone comments on a post on Facebook, it gets boosted to the top, even if you comment on your own. So, yo, what's up with that creepy doll? What is that? Why does that guy have that weird mannequin in the background? What the hell? Is that his girlfriend? And that is an Easter egg that you put in there purposely in order to get people to comment.
That's great stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So that's my recommendation, to get videos, at least to get videos to go viral. Also to make relationships with bigger pages, any Instagram pages with millions of followers, any Facebook pages, try to get relationships with them. So when you have a hot video that's ready to go, you have a connection to send it to them.
How long does it take you to one of my favorite ones, obviously the one you're known for the most, I think, is when you dressed up like a homeless man. And then everyone, anytime anyone gave you any, like $1 or whatever, you turn around and give them $100.
Right.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
But I got to say, the one at the baseball game, the proposal.
Oh, the basketball. Yeah.
Or basketball. That was hilarious.
Thank you, bro. My heart was like, go, 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 go. Like,
yeah,
I can't even tell you how nervous I was. That particular prank took us about, I don't know, 3 weeks to plan. It was completely, like, I don't want to say it was fully luck, but we had planned to do this long before we had any connection to the Jumbotron at the Miami Heat Arena. And my videographer does blinds as well for a living. Him and his dad have a shop, and he was in a client's house, and he overheard how lucky and random is this that he overheard some woman talking about that she has a connection to the Jumbotron at the Heat game. At the same time, we're trying to get on the Jumbotron at the Heat game. So they put me in the email. I'm not big on lying, but I had to lie to the Heat for like 3 weeks to tell them that I'm really proposing to this woman and whatever, they do proposals every 3 days anyway. It would just happen to be one where I dropped the ring. So I had everybody come over. We rehearsed. I had like 8 people planted in the crowd, which a lot of people didn't know. I had like 8 actors in the crowd to hype up the crowd about looking for the ring. And I practiced the ring drop. It was the most craziest thing. Within like 2 minutes after that went down, the Heat organization was in a frenzy. Somebody from Fox Sports tweeted it out on his Twitter. It kind of went viral on Twitter. And then when we were done, the footage that we got from our cell phones, we sent it to the news within like 10 minutes after it was done. And then the news came to my house the next day to talk about it. And then it was the same news station that had interviewed me about the viral video from the year prior where I was just a homeless guy. And when they were here, they were like, I was like, hey, do you know I'm the same guy that did the homeless thing last year? He's like, you're the same guy. I'm like, yeah. And he calls his producer and he's like, yo, the guy who did the Heat thing last night, that's the same guy from the homeless thing. And all you hear the guy say is, confirm it's him. Make sure it's the same guy. Make sure it's the same. It was hilarious. But when the news initially called me, they had called me and they go, hey, can we ask you a question? The thing that happened to the Heat game last night, we dropped the ring, was that a prank or was that real? And how I worded it was, I was like, if I do admit to you that it was a prank, will you still run the story? They're like, hell yeah. I'm like, it was a prank. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the whole thing. It was amazing.
Don't make me lie.
Yeah, I didn't want to lie either, because I didn't want to keep going further with it and then have people start GoFundMe pages for me to find the ring. I'm not that dude. I don't, I just wanted to get it done with and admit that it wasn't real.
Yeah, that's great. So what was your very first video was that the first one, or the homeless one was the homeless man was the first one that went viral?
Yeah, that was the first one that went viral. One that was close to going viral was I pretended to be famous at Sawgrass Mall in Florida, and I hired like 2 fake bodyguards, 2 fake paparazzi. I had 12 actors planted in the crowd, and I went into Sawgrass and had 2 girls scream, "Oh my God, it's Brian Breach!" Bro, and within 20 seconds, there was hundreds of people surrounding me. There was people lined up in single file lines to take picture with me. I got surrounded in the mall. They were following me around the mall like I was Justin Bieber. That video almost went viral. It caught on a couple bigger sites. It got like 80,000 views here, 40,000 here, 90,000 here, and it got shared a ton of times, but it didn't go viral like the other one. But that video that was like a life-changing moment for me to feel that. It was crazy.
Yeah. And that was the very first one you did?
No, actually, the first skit I ever did was horrific. It was called the Cardi B mating call, and it was me and this comedian from Texas named Anna, and we pretended to fall in love through Cardi B mating noises. I mean, Cardi B sound. So I meet her, and I'm like, "Oh," and then she's like, and I'm like, like, so you know how animals do like mating calls and stuff like that. So Cardi B has this funny way of speaking. So we were like, it was her idea. She's like, would it be funny if we fell in love like through these Cardi B noises? And so anyway, it was horrible, but it ended up getting like over 130,000 views on Facebook. So that started it off. So I thought to myself, if I can get 130,000 views on the worst piece of shit video I've ever shot, then I think I could do better. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the start of it.
Do you ever run ads at all when you're trying to get like Facebook ads or Instagram ads when you're trying to get something to pick up some heat?
Great question, because that Cardi B mating call was the first one that I ever ran an ad on it. And it did really well because of the ad. It actually got it up to that level, and it got so many comments from so many people around the state and out of the country. So I ran an ad on that one on Facebook only. I'm not a big fan of the Instagram ads, but and then I tried to run an ad on the mall prank, the Are You Famous mall prank, because I thought that one was going to go viral. I was dead sure that was going to go viral. And when I tried to run ads on it, I had the word Instagram embedded in the video, and they wouldn't run it, which I don't understand because Facebook owns Instagram. Why wouldn't you want to promote it up cross platform? So, but ever since then, I didn't. I ran ads on my TED Talk though. Yeah.
So did you have a call to action, or did you just run the video for views?
What did I do? The call to action was to click on the YouTube video, I believe. Wait, no. The Cardi B mating call. No, the Cardi B mating call was just to get it to certain areas. I don't think there was a call to action, but to click on the actual video yet.
So
I'm still learning Facebook ads. I'm not an expert. I've teased them a little bit and played with them when I did music.
Oh, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there's so much to it.
Crazy.
But it really helped my TED Talk. It got me in front of the call to action on my TED Talk was to click on the YouTube video, not the video itself. And it got it worked. I was very impressed with how it worked on Facebook for my TED Talk.
That's great. So when you run these videos, like not so much for the TED Talk, but the other one, like the one where you're pretending to be famous in the mall. The point of running the video is you want people to realize it's a joke, right? Because you have a better chance of it going viral at that point, right?
Right. Like you're saying on the mall prank?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think, the whole video, if you watch the edit, it's very much like I talk about the video before. Yeah. So I'm literally like, because the reason that whole video started was when I got verified on Instagram for like a year straight, I kept getting messages of people saying, "Are you famous?" It was the weirdest thing. For a year straight, all I got was, "Are you famous?" And so I hated that question because what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, ask me how your day was. Ask me what you're doing. Introduce yourself. Say, "Hi, I'm John. Nice to meet you." Don't say like what. It's so superficial to me. So I started messing with people and kind of like trolling them. So I'm like, "Yeah, man, I am super famous. I'm chilling here with Justin Bieber right now." So then I would horribly Photoshop my head off my body and put it on Justin Bieber's friend standing next to Bieber. And I did that for a year, and I kept posting the conversations. So it'd be like, "Are you famous?" "Yeah, I'm with Justin Bieber." "Are you famous?" "Yeah, I'm with Selena Gomez." "Are you famous?" "Yeah, I'm with Ariana Grande." And to this day, I'm still getting people messaging me about it. So the introduction to that video, I literally said, So in the last year, for some reason, ever since I've been verified, people have been asking me, am I famous? And since they keep asking, I figured I'd make myself famous for real. And then I snapped my fingers, and out of nowhere, like 14 people around this pool table just appeared behind me, and they were all the actors involved in the video. And then throughout the video, I kind of narrated with words across the video showing how it went on. So yeah, everybody knew it was fake, except for the people in the mall. They all thought I was super famous. But then the argument was, well, you're already verified. I'm like, it doesn't matter. No one knows who I am. Like, I could walk. Oh, that's what I said. I could walk through any mall in America, and people still don't know who the hell I am. So since they keep asking, I figured I'd make myself famous for real. Yeah.
There you go. But you were able to get verified on Instagram through your music. So you had some success there before you went this route.
Yeah, I had some success in music for a while. I got to open up for so many artists, just like your brother. Got to open up for a lot of artists. We started the label. I had an album out. On the album, I had Mickey Fax, who was on the cover of XXL as a feature. I had Chris Rivers, who's Big Pun's son. He was on the album. And then I had music that aired as an intro to a TV show that aired for 3 years. What was it, on the CW or I forgot what it was, but so that helped, and it was just a lot of opportunity. So I actually got verified because of all that stuff. Yeah, long before the music world.
Yeah. Well, look, Brian, I could keep you on all day about your billboard. That was hilarious. We'll have to touch base on that another time. I don't want to keep you any longer, but I appreciate you jumping on the show, and hopefully we can meet in person once this whole Corona nonsense is over.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, man.